Let's read the directions for number 1. Express as decimal numerals. Now, here's what they want you to do. They want you to raise your hand and say, Mrs. Lewis, I don't know what a numeral is.
Oh, I don't know.
I know, that's what they want you to do, but what you're going to say is, oh, that looks kind of like number. So I'm going to assume that means number, okay? So don't let the words keep you from trying to figure it out. Express as decimal numerals, the first one is done for you. So is this standard form, boys and girls? Yeah. And we're converting from word form and from fractions and mixed numbers to standard form. Sometimes we call it decimal form, okay? So read this one.
24,000.
24 thousandths. What's the last digit I write?
4.
And what place value is it in? Okay, on your place value chart, put a 4 in the thousandths place. Then make it 24. What do I need to fill in with?
0.
You agree? 24 thousandths? Okay, that's what we're doing. The next one. Ooh, I think I'm going to highlight a word. And. 1 and 324 thousandths. So what's my place value at the end?
Thousand.
And what's the last number I write?
4.
4. Okay. So on the place value chart, put a 4 in the thousandths place. Read that to me again. Okay, Seuss, read that to me again.
1 and 324,000.
Okay, so 324. Everything in front of the decimal is a whole number. So the 1 is the whole number. 1 and 324 thousandths. Okay, next one. Do you see the word and?
No.
So there's no whole number. So what's the last digit I write?
8.
What place value is it in? Okay. Uh-oh. It was an 8, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So the number was 608 thousandths. Yeah. Okay, you got it? Are you writing them on the place value chart? It's gonna make it a lot simpler. So 608 thousandths. See the word and?
Yes.
Lexi.
The one before B or D, it's 600, not 600 or 60.
Okay, they're trying to mess you up. I'm glad you asked that, okay? Because that's happening a lot. So my question was, do you see the word and?
Yes.
In D?
Oh, no.
No. So there is no whole number. Okay? That's messing kids up because they see the word hundred. They automatically want to put it in the hundreds place, don't they? Okay? So the first thing I want you to look for is the word and. And that's going to tell us if we have any whole numbers. The next one does have the word and, doesn't it?
Yes.
So it's going to look like this, boys and girls. We're going to have a whole number, a decimal, and then decimal place value. Okay? So 608 thousandths. Is my place value thousandths pretty important?
Yes.
Okay. So on the place value chart, 600 and. What comes in front of the decimal?
The whole number.
The whole number. What is the whole number? Everything in front of the word and.
Wait.
600. How do you write 600?
600,008.
Okay, and then Jair's getting ahead of me, but after the word and, what's the number?
8.
8 what?
8,000.
8 thousandths. So he's right, we have a lot of zeros. Okay? Does that make sense, Lexi? How those two are different? It's all about the word and. And what the people that write these questions are assuming is that you're just going to read over the word and not realize it's there. Or think it's there when it's not. This one's fun. How do you say F? 46 thousandths. How do you write 46 thousandths? Well, let's talk about it. What's the last digit I write?
6.
What place value? Now what do I do?
0.
Fill in with my zeros. I'm sorry you can't see very well. You can always look at the computer, remember, okay? All right, so 46 thousandths. Looks like that. Okay, the next one. That's a mixed number. What did Lexi say a mixed number was yesterday? A whole number mixed with a fraction, okay? So what's your whole number, George? 3. So where does it go on the place value chart?
On the ones.
On the left side, are you George?
No.
On the left side of the decimal, but he's right, in the ones place. Your whole numbers are going to be on the left side of the decimal. Now, what's the rest of it? 3 and, read it on your paper.
46.
Say it again for me.
96,000.
Okay, so 6 thousandths. 3 and 946 thousandths. Okay, the next one. What's your whole number?
200.
So that goes where?
In the hundreds place.
Okay. How do you know it goes in the hundreds and not hundredths?
Because it doesn't have the It doesn't have the and. Oh no, it's a whole number.
How do you know it's a whole number?
Because it's a mixed number.
It doesn't have a number under it, does it?
Uh-uh.
No. And it's a little larger. And it's in front of the fraction. So all those things, was it 200? I can't remember.
Yes.
Okay. And then what's your fraction, Beverly?
904,000.
904 thousandths. Okay? Does that seem pretty simple to you?
Yeah.
Now, as you go through something like this, let's say on Zern, was it 904? Yeah. Okay. Like on Zern, you go through something like this, and you're getting confused. Go over and get a place value chart out of the blue card, okay? And use an expo marker and do what we just did. And then it will seem simple again. And don't forget about this. Whole numbers, decimal, and then fractions, okay? Number 2 is word form. Now, all you have to do is be able to read the number. Remember yesterday I told you, I've been having you say those numbers because that's word form. So turn to your neighbor and tell them how to say this number.
0.
Okay, so if you said 0 and 5 thousandths, you're incorrect because we don't say $0.05. We just say 5 cents. So try it again. 5 thousandths. Okay, that's what I write. Think you can handle that?
Yeah.
That's all I write. 5 thousandths. Okay, so you got that written with your pencil? Okay. I'm going to put the next one on the place value chart. It says 11 and
37,000.
37 thousandths. Now the nice thing about using the place value chart, I know that this is 11 and, because of my decimal, and then I know this is 37 thousandths because I can read the place value chart. So what? Turn to your neighbor and say that number.
11 and 37,000.
Okay.
11 and
Can you write that? 11 and 37 thousandths. Have you noticed what I'm capitalizing? The first letter of the first word, and that's it. Okay, you need to focus. Now somebody said, I don't know how to spell 30. I can't remember how to spell 30. Well, you're going to have to use your sounds. What makes the sound? ER, IR, UR. So pick one of those.
Sound it out.
Okay, raise your hand if you're not ready to go on. Hurry up.
I like your screen.
You like my shade? Look at this.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
Raise it up.
That's satisfying.
It is. Okay,
Round.
turn to your neighbor and say the next number. Don't forget the word and.
11,37,000.
Okay, stop for a minute. I'm going to say the number and I want you to tell me what mistakes I made. Okay? Or if I made any. 403 and 608,000.
You didn't say the 100.
No, that's
You
wrong.
interrupted me. Let me say it again. 403 and 608,000.
Oh!
Chloe, what mistake did I make?
You said 600. You said 600 instead of.
I said 403 and 608,000. Emiliano?
said items 2 times.
I actually said it 3 times.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he did.
How many times do I say the word and in this number?
One.
Okay, so let me say it correctly. 403 and 608,000. Okay, that's what you write. Capitalize the first letter of the first word. 403 Now on this one, somebody put 400s. Would I count that right or wrong?
Wrong.
Wrong, because that's unit form, and we're not doing unit form. 403 and, what did I say the rest of it was?
68.
608,000. Most of the time on a hard one like this, whoops, kids will put, they'll switch over to unit form because they can't figure it out. Just remember that what you say when you say the number is what you write when you're doing word form. Okay, so the next part is expanded form. We're going to do it both ways with fractions and decimals. The first one is done for you. It says to put it on a place value chart. Now, if you'll look at the next page, there is no place value chart. So we will use our iPads for that, okay? So take a look at the first problem. So the first thing I do is copy it onto the place value chart. What's the number, Beverly? Okay. So how do I say this?
249,000.
Okay, good. So when we first did expanded form, we did a little bit of dots, didn't we? Now we might be past the dots by now, but if you want the dots on there, go ahead. Okay? And then here's what we said. 2 copies of 110. 4 copies of 100. 9 copies of
1,000.
And then, what did we do after that?
We did the decimal.
We did. We switched the fractions to decimals. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and get started on this. You go ahead and get started. And then I'm going to show you a mistake I saw earlier in the day, so you don't accidentally make the same mistake. okay? So go ahead and write equals, then 2 copies of, and just copy it off of your place value chart. You can check it with mine when you're finished, but don't look up until you're finished. Okay, so look up here. Make sure you've got the fractions done correctly.
Let's go.
Now I'm going to put your pencils down. I want to show you a mistake I saw. And it's not, I mean, it's a mistake, but it's not a really bad one. It's just not what we want. And I saw it more than once. Here's what they remembered from yesterday. They remembered that you're going to switch the fractions to decimals. But what did they forget to do?
The plus.
All the other numbers and special characters that we have, okay? So when you switch the numbers to decimals, look up here. This is a reminder. You're going to make sure and write the decimal right underneath the fraction. And if you don't know how to write the decimal, you can copy it off your place value chart. Then, all you have to do is bring everything else down. So bring the parentheses down, the 2 down, multiplication sign, and copy the rest. Okay? Go ahead. Now, thanks for not copying off of mine. Mine's here to look at when you finish. Are we lagging again? Okay, so on this one, we're going to put it on the place value chart. 57 and 281 thousandths. So what goes before the decimal?
57.
57. And then 281.
Thousands.
Good. Okay. And if I had the dots, I would do 5 copies of what number?
10.
Look at the place value chart.
10.
5 copies of 10. And 7 copies of
1.
1. And then I'm going to start with fractions, aren't I? So 2 copies of 1/10. Am I teaching you a strategy here?
Yes.
This is for when it gets too hard. And 1 copy of 1,000. Now all you have to do is copy from your place value chart. Don't forget your parentheses, multiplication signs, and plus signs. Okay, so look up here. If you have this much done, you're ready to switch it to decimals. What do I switch to decimals, Junior? What numbers do I switch and make them decimals? Josue? The fractions, just the fractions, okay? So underneath the fractions, you will write the decimals like we've been doing. Is 10 a fraction?
No.
No. Is 1 a fraction?
No.
No, those are what? What are those called?
Whole numbers.
Whole numbers, okay? So go ahead and finish this out. And then you can check it with mine.
Yeah.
Okay, and so let's start by putting the parentheses on there. And then it looks to me like they put extra parentheses where we don't really need them. You agree?
Yeah.
Okay. So, by the way, this is my 2023 homeroom class in the recording, and we have Griffin Edgar here today.
Hello.
Okay, so I can take my white pen. You can't do that, but I can take my white pen and erase that little parentheses that's not needed. Not sure why they do that, okay? So I want to show you a trick for doing this type of problem because you have it on IXL all the time if you're in the W's, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a 7 in the tens place, okay? And I'm going back and forth. And then I'll put a 4 in which place value? Ones. And a 6
In the
in the tenths. And a 9 and a 2, okay? And what number did I just make? 74 and 692 thousandths. And that's all I write on my paper. And on IXL, it would be that you just type it in the little space. Okay? And that one's pretty simple because they didn't skip any place values on that one. Okay? But the next one, I suspect they skipped some place values because it starts with 100 and it ends with the thousandths place. And it doesn't look to me like they have enough. So get your parentheses on there. And then we'll put this on the place value chart. I really need a copy of it. So what do I need to do first? Clear this out, right? Okay, and so there's a 5 in what place? Hundreds, okay. Then there's a 3 in the tens. What comes next? A 0, very good. Now what? An 8 in the tenths. What comes next? Okay, and then what? All right. So what is this number?
530
And 809 thousandths. So that's what I write on my 530 and 809 thousandths. Okay, are you listening?
Yep.
All right. Do you want to try the last one on your own?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to make a pattern with my colors here. So get your parentheses on there first. That will help a lot. And yesterday I tried it, and you can write the parentheses on IXL if you want to, if that makes it easier for you. Okay? I tried it yesterday. I think it was maybe block 4. I can't remember. Okay, so you try this one on your own. Whoops. I'm going to pause it while you work on it. So boys and girls, tell me what you wrote on this. No, I don't want the answer. I want to know what digit and what place value you put it in. Go ahead and tell me. Okay, 4 in the thousand, 4 in the thousands.
2 in the hundred, a 0 in the 10, and a 7 in the 1. 0 in 10.
What comes next?
0, a 3, and a 4.
So what number is this?
4,207 and 34,000.
Oh my gosh, you're so good. Tell me what that was again. 4,000.
34,000.
Very good. Okay? All right, that's all we're going to do. Good job today.